Okay, this next video is going to deal with how to write key signatures correctly. Okay, how to write them correctly. Hopefully you've noticed, looking at all of these key signatures, that there's been a way this has been codified through the years. There's a correct way to write them, so they always look the same. For example, if we have 4 sharps in treble clef, they will always look like this. We never start down here, then jump up here, then jump here, then jump down. So there's another video that I posted that it talks more about this, but they always look the same. That way, we as musicians, when we look at a piece, we can look quickly at this and see, okay, this is the key of E major or C sharp minor, very quickly, because they're always placed the same way. And they always follow the same order. Because if you think about it, if we think about our scales, C major had no sharps or flats. The next one only had 1 sharp, that was G major, which had an F sharp in it. So that means the only scale that's got an F sharp in it, the only major scale would be a G major. So therefore F sharp would be the first sharp, and so on. But anyway, quick shortcut. Years ago, I had asked my students to come up with a way of remembering the order of sharps. One particularly funny student, instead of talking about Father Charles, as you saw in these other videos, who had a pretty bad demise, as I recall, he was a jazz musician. He said the order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. He remembered it, and years later, I still remember it. From this, as a teaching tool, fat cats get down at Eddie's bar. That's how he remembered the order of sharps. Fat cats get down at Eddie's bar. The order of flats, you may notice, is the opposite. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And a mnemonic device that some people use is they notice that the first 4 flats spell the word bead, and GCF is sometimes used in math for greatest common factor. So whatever works for you. I don't use the word memorize a lot, but that does have to be memorized. You do need to remember the order of sharps and the order of flats. So let's talk a bit about what that means. What do we mean by the order of sharps? Okay, this means the order in which they would appear in a key signature. So look at the order of sharps. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Look at this key signature. The first 2 are F and C. The first 2 here are F and C. The first 2 will always be F and C in any key signature. That's good. By the way, major key signatures and minor key signatures do look exactly the same, which is a good thing. And look at this one with flats. We have B, E, and A. Look at the order of flats. The first 3 are B, E, and A. The first 3 will always be B, E, and A. Okay, so with that in mind, if you had a major key signature with 3 sharps, this is just a little exercise to make sure you understand what we mean by order of sharps and flats. If a major key signature has 3 sharps, what must they be? Well, look from left to right. 1, 2, 3. So if we had 3 sharps, they would have to be these 3 sharps in the key signature. If a major key signature has 3 flats, what must they be? Well, since the flats always happen in this order, 1, 2, and 3, those 3 flats have to be B flat, E flat, and A flat. If a key signature has 1 sharp, what must it be? The first sharp is F sharp, so that key signature would have an F sharp in it, no other sharp. And if a major key signature contains 1 flat, we see the first flat is B flat. So if it has 1 flat, it's got to be B flat and no other flat. So normally students do really well when it comes to writing it this way, but the way you're going to have to write it is going to be this way. It's going to be on a staff. So it's very important that right now you learn this order, the placement of the flats. They're always going to be placed the same way. And the most common reason students lose points on your upcoming test is that they place them in the wrong way. They might know the first three are B, E, and A, but they'll put B, then they'll go down to E. That is incorrect. And there's another video I posted that demonstrates this with nice graphics and such, and not my right hand and my red pencil in my living room. But anyway, the order of flats always follows this zigzag pattern. We start in the middle with B, we go up to E, down to A, up to D, down to G, up to C, down to F. In treble clef, it mirrors this exactly. We start on B, we go up, down, up, down, up, down. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. One of the reasons, and again, this is explained better possibly in another video with nice graphics and such, is that we don't ever want to have a ledger line in a key signature. So if you try any other easy looking formation, we'd end up with ledger lines, and we don't want that. So you'll see that demonstrated here. In the key of F sharp major, you see we start at the top, we come down to F, we go up to G. Now you may say, you said no ledger lines. There is no ledger line. The G sits right up on the staff, down to D, but then right here, watch out. This is the only spot where key signatures don't zigzag back and forth. So we go down to A. You could remember stray at A sharp. Stray at A sharp. Okay, so we stray from the pattern, because if you went up to A, you would end up having to put a ledger line up here for the A, which we don't have ledger lines in key signatures. And then we keep zigzagging. E, B, fat cats get down at Eddie's bar. And then in treble, in bass clef, it follows the same exact formation. We could technically go up at A, but theorists decided that the patterns should look exactly the same. Okay, so it's very, very important that you practice, do all your homework, so that writing these will be second nature. It's also really important that you place these well. A few of you had problems with scales. If you're going to write a F sharp on a line, you're going to have some bigger staffs. Make sure it's clearly on the line, and if it's in the space, make sure it's clearly in the space. These are not the best examples because this staff is tiny. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch to pencil. So let's go ahead and practice writing these. All right, so what I'd like you to do, I'll do the first one. One sharp, what is, so you have to ask yourself two questions. One, what is that sharp or flat? And two, where do I put it? Okay, so all you have to do is look at these examples to figure that out. So one sharp, if there's only one sharp, it's got to be F sharp. We're in treble clef, so it would be placed here. So you would draw it very carefully, such that the line, the F sharp line, goes right through the middle of the sharp. Okay, let's go ahead and hit your pause button, please, and practice these three. Okay, let's see how you did. So we're in three flats. First question is what are the three flats? The first three flats are B, E, and A. Second question, where? Where do I put them? We're in treble clef, bass clef. So you see the placement of those three flats in bass clef. So you put the bulb of the flat right on the line, and then in the space, and then down in the space. Okay, so you see how this is clearly in the space. Please be careful not to do things like this. Is that a G, an A, or a B? I don't know. You're kind of getting them all there. So be really careful. Okay, the next one is five sharps. Fat cats get down at F, C, G, D, A. Mr. Guidry said stray at A. Okay, so D sharp, where are we going to put them? We're going to follow this pattern, F, C, G, D, A. So F on the line, down to C, up to G, down to D, and now is where the pattern, that's a bad looking D. That's better. And then down to A. Okay, and the next one has 5 flats. What are the 5 flats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B, E, A, D, G. Where do I put them? So we could look here, 5 flats in treble clef. Look at the first 5. So we start with B flat, up to E flat, down to A flat, up to D flat, and then down to G flat. Okay, all right, so that concludes this video. We're going to go on to the next page in the next video.